Good morning, everyone. I hope you are fine. In our lecture today, we will discuss Scene 1 in Dr. Faustus, a tragedy by Christopher Marlowe. In this lecture of the tragical history of Dr. Faustus by Christopher Marlowe, we will discuss Scene 1's summary that includes Dr. Faustus and different fields of study, good and evil angels, and Valdez and Cornelius. On the other hand, we also have the analysis of Scene 1 that includes an introduction, the metaphysics soliloquy, Faustus as a tragic hero, good and evil angels, Faustus's appeal, prophets of transgression, Valdez and Cornelius, and lastly, Faustus's state of mind. Well, Scene 1 includes the following characters: Dr. Faustus, Wagner his servant, good angel, evil angel, Valdez, and Cornelius. The place Faustus is in his study. Moving on to the summary of Scene 1. However, what is important in Scene 1 is the long soliloquy said by Dr. Faustus, in which he goes through the different fields of study and shows his opinion for us about them all. So, Dr. Faustus, in a long soliloquy, reflects on the most rewarding type of scholarship. He first considers logic, quoting the Greek philosopher Aristotle, but notes that disputing well seems to be the only goal of logic, and since Faustus's debating skills are already good, logic is not scholarly enough for him. For this reason, he considers medicine, quoting the Greek physician Galen, and decides that medicine, with its possibility of achieving miraculous cures, is the most fruitful pursuit. Yet, he notes that he has achieved great renown as a doctor already, and that this fame has not brought him satisfaction. Thereby, he considers law, quoting the Byzantine Emperor Justinian, but dismisses law as too petty, dealing with trivial matters rather than larger ones. On the other hand, divinity, that is to say, the study of religion and theology, seems to offer wider vistas. But he quotes from St. Jerome's Bible that all men sin, and finds the Bible assertion that the reward of sin is death, an unacceptable doctrine. He then, for this reason, dismisses religion and fixes his mind on magic, which, when properly pursued, he believes will make him a mighty god. So, throughout this soliloquy, we can conclude that Dr. Faustus decided to throw away all fields of study in favor of magic. Moving on, in the first scene, Wagner, Faustus' servant, enters as his master finishes speaking. Faustus asks Wagner to bring Valdez and Cornelius, Faustus' friends, to help him learn the art of magic. However, while they are on their way, a good angel and an evil angel visit Faustus. On his part, the good angel urges him to set aside his book of magic and read the scriptures instead. The evil angel, however, encourages him to go forward in his pursuit of the black arts. After they vanish, it is clear that Faustus is going to heed the devil spirit, since he exults at the great powers that the magical arts will bring him. Faustus imagines sending spirits to the end of the world to fetch him jewels and delicacies, having them teach him secret knowledge, and using magic to make himself king of all Germany. On the other side, Scene 1 also presents Valdez and Cornelius, Faustus' friends, who taught him black magic. So, Valdez and Cornelius appear in the scene, and Faustus greets them, declaring that he has set aside all other forms of learning in favor of magic, as we have previously said. So they agree to teach Faustus the principles of the dark arts and describe the wondrous powers that will be his if he remains committed during his quest to learn magic. So, on his part, Cornelius tells him that the miracles that magic will perform will make thee vow to study nothing else. On the other hand, Valdez lists a number of texts that Faustus should read, and the two friends promise to help him become better at magic than even they are. On his part, Faustus invites them to dine with him, and they exit. Okay, after giving this brief summary to scene 1, now we will move on to the analysis. Well, the analysis of scene 1 starts with an introduction to Faustus's soliloquy that consists of 3 points. The first point is about the academic setting. So, Faustus starts the play off with a soliloquy. This is so that he can let the audience know of his thoughts. The scene, however, now shifts to Faustus's study, and Faustus's opening speech about the various fields of scholarship reflects the academic setting of the scene. In proceeding through the various intellectual disciplines and citing authorities for each, he is following the dictates of medieval scholarship, which held that learning was based on the authority of the wise rather than on experimentation and new ideas. The soliloquy then marks Faustus's rejection of this medieval model, as he sets aside each of the old authorities and resolves to strike out on his own in his quest to become powerful through black magic. Accordingly, what is important of Faustus's soliloquy is a part of the metaphysics. Faustus says to himself, the reward of sin is death. That's hard. If we say that we have no sin, we deceive ourselves, and there is no truth in us. Why then belike we must sin, and so consequently die? Ay, we must die an everlasting death. What will be, shall be. Divinity, Adieu. These metaphysics of magicians and necromantic books are heavenly. Well, Faustus speaks these lines near the end of his opening soliloquy. In this speech, however, he considers various fields of study one by one, beginning with logic and proceeding through medicine and law, seeking the highest form of knowledge. He arrives at theology and opens the Bible to the New Testament, where he quotes from Romans and the first book of John. He reads that the reward of sin is death, and that if we say that we have no sin, we deceive ourselves, and there is no truth in us. The logic of these quotations: everyone sins, and sin leads to death, makes it seem as though Christianity can promise only death, which leads Faustus to give in to the fatalistic "what will be shall be" divinity idea. However, Faustus neglects to read the very next line in John, which states, "If we confess our sins, God is faithful and just to forgive us our sins and to cleanse us from all unrighteousness." By ignoring this passage, Faustus actually ignores the possibility of redemption, just as he ignores it throughout the play. Faustus actually has blind spots. He sees what he wants to see rather than what is really there. This blindness, however, is apparent in the very next line of his speech. Having turned his back on heaven, he pretends that these metaphysics of magicians and necromantic books are heavenly. He thus inverts the cosmos, making black magic heavenly and religion the source of everlasting death. Actually, necromantic books bring spirits back to life, and this is a transgression of death. At the time this play was wrote, people believed in witchcraft and hell too. Consequently, this blindness and deciding to transgress evokes an important question about Faustus as a tragic hero. Is Faustus a villain or a tragic hero? Well, actually, Faustus is not a villain, though he is a tragic hero, a protagonist whose character flaws lead to his downfall. Marlowe imbues him with tragic grandeur in these early scenes. The logic he uses to reject religion may be flawed, but there is something impressive in the breadth of his ambition, even if he pursues it through diabolical means. In Faustus's long speech after the two angels have whispered in his ears, his rhetoric outlines the modern quest for control over nature, albeit through magic rather than through science, in glowing, inspiring language. He offers a long list of impressive goals, including the acquisition of knowledge, wealth, and political power that he believes he will achieve once he has mastered the dark arts. While the reader or playgoer is not expected to approve of his quest. His ambitions are impressive to say the least. Later, the actual uses to which he puts his magical powers are disappointing and tawdry. For now, however, Faustus' dreams inspire wonder. Moreover, during his quest for black magic, the good and evil angels appear to guide Faustus into different directions. So, the good angel says to Faustus, "Oh, Faustus, lay that damned book aside, and gaze not on it, lest it tempt thy soul, and heap God's heavy wrath upon thy head." So the good angel appears here with, "Oh, Faustus, lay that damned book aside." The split personality is supported by the fact there is a good and evil angel trying to stop or encourage transgression. The good angel, however, puts an accent on the E of damned to make an extra syllable so that the line is 10 syllables long. The good angel basically states that temptation leads to damnation, that is to say, hell. So Faustus is risking damnation. On the other hand, the evil angel says to Faustus, "Be thou on earth, as Jove is in the sky." So the evil angel then stays after the good angel, "Be thou earth, as Jove is in the sky." From this, the evil angel is clearly wanting Faustus to transgress. Okay, another important point in scene 1 is Faustus's appeal. Faustus says to himself, "Shall I make spirits fetch me what I please, resolve me of all ambiguities, and tell the secrets of all foreign kings?" In these lines, Faustus wants the spirits to resolve me of all ambiguities. He wants the spirits to answer all his questions which cannot be answered, such as the meaning of life. So Faustus' quest for knowledge transforms into a need to learn the secrets of all foreign kings, suggesting how much Faustus' desire for knowledge is tied up with his equally strong need to have a ton of power. Continuously, Dr. Faustus lists all the profits that he wants to gain from transgressing. So, Faustus goes through all the things he wants to gain from transgressing. All in all, it is a very long list, which contrasts greatly to what he actually achieves. Not much. Faustus wants gold and treasure by saying, "Fly to India for gold." He wants pearls by saying, "Ransack the ocean for Orient pearl." Exploration. First to discover things by saying, "Search all corners of the new-found world." He also wants pleasant fruits and princely delicates. He wants to become a teacher. "Read me strange philosophy," he says. He wants to fortify Germany by saying, "I'll have them all Germany with brass." He also wants to make swift trains circle fair Wittenberg and fill schools with silk by saying, "Fill the public schools with silk." He wants to enlist soldiers using the money he will gain. "I'll levy soldiers," he says. Moreover, he wants to rule the world, chase away princess, become a king, and finally gain the forbidden knowledge. On the other hand, this list made by Dr. Faustus is enlarged by Valdez and Cornelius. From this, Valdez says to Faustus, and from America the golden fleece that yearly stuff-sold Philip's treasury. If learned, Faustus will be resolute. So Valdez goes on like Faustus about all the amazing things that will happen. There is a link to the ram's fleece Greek mythology and from America the golden fleece. The golden fleece is seen as the ultimate prize to obtain. If learned, Faustus will be resolute. Again, there is an accent on the E of learned to make the line 10 syllables long. Valdez then states what will happen from gaining forbidden knowledge. They will become idealized and obeyed. They will have power over the elements, the wind, fire, earth, and rain. On his part, Cornelius says to Faustus, then tell me, Faustus, what shall we three want? This line, however, has reference to the start of Macbeth, where there were three witches. There is an echo of evil here. As well as this, it is also a rhetorical question. There is evidence of desire. What will they want after having everything? Now, the last argument in scene 1 is about Faustus' state of mind. Here we have two important quotes. The first good quote is, Faust, this cheers my soul. Faustus says to himself. This line is a good quote in which Faustus is in a state of mind about the dark arts where he is ready to sell his soul to the devil. The other important quote is, this night I'll conjure, though I die, therefore. Faustus says to himself. Also, in this line, Faustus knows exactly what he is doing and the consequences of his potential actions. Therefore, this can be seen that it is no one but Faustus's own fault. That was the end of our lecture today. For further reading, please refer to these references. Next lecture, I will continue with the analysis of other scenes from Dr. Faustus, a tragedy by Christopher Marlowe. Thank you very much for your time and good luck.